Just started. Sorry, I hit it on accident.
We're on live, guys.
You're live
Oh,
by
so I can't go
accident.
like this?
You're being watched.
We'll call the January 10th, 2023 Water and Wastewater Utilities Commission meeting to order. We'll start with roll call.
Alderpersons Robert Smith,
Here.
Alderpersons Roger Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Engel, Commissioner Frings,
Here.
Commissioner Lodahl,
Here.
Commissioner Pasbrick,
Here.
and Commissioner Bushey.
Here. Next on the agenda is citizens' comments. Seeing none, we'll move on to the approval of the consent agenda, which consists of minutes from December 6th and both the water and wastewater utility bills. We'll take a motion in a second and then discussion.
You had something for us?
Hold on, let's get the motion in a second.
Oh, yeah.
I'll move. Go ahead.
Got a motion by Gino and a second by Posper. There is a correction on the minutes I heard.
Yeah, if you look at it's where we talked about the Green Bay Drive sewer laterals.
Okay.
We have the actions, or we have the two motions, the first motion and the motion to amend the first motion. We don't have a resolution on what we did with it. And I thought we voted on that, didn't we?
Oh. Discussion and, you're on, yeah. Yeah, other room. Page
Is that
right
one?
here.
Oh, that's right, because we moved there. Oh, okay.
So we need to add that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I haven't
Okay.
done that before. Is there anything else that we need to do with that? Do you guys need to take a vote or do anything,
We
or
voted.
We just,
you
Well, I
voted,
think you should
just
go back
motion
now
to
and look
amend?
at the YouTube and take it
Yeah.
off there.
yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll have to reapprove the minutes next
Well,
month.
we can approve them as we amended them here.
If he's
Oh, okay.
correct, though, and we never approved the resolution, we might have to address that.
Yeah,
We should check to see if we did approve the resolution.
it's not in minutes anyplace, your minutes at all, that we voted on that? I thought it was,
It might have just been
I thought we,
missed.
I thought.
It could have
we
been
didn't
missed.
to
I-
vote on it Because we said we weren't gonna enforce it.
no, this was on the fixing.
So do you want to do amend per
Those deeds,
video,
yeah.
whatever we said there? Watch it
No,
again?
I think we should have them redo
Reapprove.
it and bring it back.
Bring it back.
Okay.
So they will look through the video,
Yeah.
determine,
If we didn't make a resolution, we have to.
right.
Okay.
And then we'll bring it back to be approved at next.
next video.
Just
Okay,
the minutes.
right. Okay.
Any questions on the bills?
I do, just some verification of what you were doing. On page 3, I see about a new culvert for Road Road, that only happened to the old one.
Yeah, oh, well, there was a partial culvert there. We weren't able to drive our jetter truck in and get to the holding tank portion. So we extended it and covered it with dirt so we can actually get to it with our truck.
Alright, good job. Page 1, what's the explanation for the tab products? Tab January, February overpayment,
Yeah,
$2,906.03.
they were changing their payment systems, so they overpaid us. So.
They
I
send
said-
electronic payments to us, so I think they just keep sending them.
Yeah, and they changed how they were doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I asked if they wanted a credit or if they wanted a refund, and they said
Total
refund.
bill for a whole year is that much, let alone. is
Oh,
that-
no, that might be
Pretty
3
good.
months.
But that could be leased and real then too.
Mhm.
Under the whole same thing, because it's in the same building, leased and real and tab.
Probably.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
doesn't matter. And just on 1300 Dayton Street curb stop, what was going on there? $872.
1300 Dayton. We fixed the curb. Was that one of the fixes in the driveway? 1300 Dayton.
That should all be fairly new there. I was just wondering if that's lead out there.
It's not lead.
Sulfite fumes area out there.
Oh, there was a curb stop. Hakimovich came. I remember what that was. It's on the north side of the road towards Pig. You were gone. Hakimovich was there to redo a driveway and a sidewalk, and they opened it up. The curb stop was next to the sidewalk, and it was completely broken off. So we put a new piece on there and put it back together.
$872 for that?
To dig. They had to do some additional digging and get it back together. But we figured we'd fix it and not break their new sidewalk later if we needed to get to it.
Well, good idea.
Yeah, we try.
all I have.
Okay.
Any other comments or concerns on? If not, we'll take roll call on that.
Alderpersons Robert Smith. Alderpersons Roger Smith. Commissioner Engel.
Aye.
Commissioner Frings.
Aye.
Commissioner Lodo. Commissioner Patrick.
Aye.
Commissioner Butcher.
Aye. Just to clarify, we only voted on the bills. We're gonna bring back the minutes to the next meeting. Water report, well and distribution system report discussion.
All right, water report. Lead disbursement payment, came December 28th. I guess again, what we think is final. So, the last two that we did, everything is paid for and up to date with our funding. $14,345 came back, was wired through. We still have until March if we do find any incidentals, and we have $156,000 left if we do find those. So
What if we find them after March?
too bad. The grant's overdone. I think we've done everything in our power to locate these though, and see if we could stir any up. So we would put a good handle on it. Yeah, Tim? Oh, yeah, we did actually. George recognized that some galvanized pipe today, changing a meter, kind of runs through a wall. We're going to check with the DNR if we can get this one funded because there's poly that comes in through the floor and then there's about 12 feet of galvanized. So we're going to see if they're going to allow us to do not that full service replacement, but at least that partial. So about
Where is this? On Main Street?
Yep, and so it must have been done with the Main Street project, but it only came just barely through the wall. It never, that whole lead up to the meter is still galvanized.
Which house is that?
39 volt. 239 South.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, even if
39
the
south,
DNR
that
doesn't
was on-
cover that, that can't be that expensive.
No, it's a internal
that was-
plumbing thing, but it's out of scope a little bit, so we're just gonna ask if they will allow us to do that in there. It's kind of hodgepodge
Are we
together.
done with the water, what about, the water pressure on Wisconsin Street?
Yeah, we had a main break and it was fixed same day.
Saturday, the next
Friday,
morning,
we
Friday
fixed
night.
it that morning.
We fixed it, yeah, the same day.
They had a lot of tools out there, a lot of big equipment for that.
I left town. It was my fault. Everything happens when I leave town, so
Well, you can't.
that's what I hear.
saw a country go by and I figured,
Yeah, they had it done in 3-4 hours back together. So
The Mookie guy who lives in Town and Country must have been on it right away, because he knew all about it, that it was fixed already. Which is,
oh, Troy.
Right, yeah, the other one.
in your packet, there's an oddball. There's Midwest meter.
Yeah.
So yeah, you knew nothing of what this meant, but we had a little situation, and I wanted to see if you guys had any background or have seen this before. Without going into too much detail, we had a situation where a tenant at an apartment passed away. It coincides with the date of a very high meter reading, or right around that time frame. They believe he was there for quite a few days before anybody knew that he had passed. The landlord, everything transferred, the billing went to the landlord, but the landlord doesn't want to pay the bill. We can't get an hourly read on this because it was an older meter, but we did send it in to be tested for accuracy. I don't know if you guys have seen anything like that before or that's ever come up, but
So the water was running the whole time?
that's the location where the person was also found. So I don't think it's a stretch to believe that the water was running.
When they found the person, was the water running?
Well, in an emergency situation, we kind of asked, we were in there and we kind of asked and nobody really remembers. But then a cleaning company was in there, but she said that they didn't use their water.
How much is it?
Oh, the bill's like $1,900.
Corner here, 'cause they can usually tell pretty close how long he was late.
Yeah,
Well,
so
that's
for,
kind of immaterial anyway, though, isn't it? The water must have been running.
The
water doesn't.
the meter tested out at 99.5 to 100% accuracy. So that was our only recourse, was to pull the meter, send it to Badger Meter.
Who's ultimately responsible, the tenants or the landlord?
I believe it falls on the landlord.
And how much
Then
was the bill?
$1,900.
And if,
It
we
was.
can either forgive the bill or forgive the part that comes back to the
I
sewer.
but I don't know that we have the power to do, because we treated it in the sewer if it ran through, and then per the PSC if it goes through the meter, I don't know if we have the power to do that without
All you can
them.
do is give them the water rate at the cheapest rate that you can.
Yeah, but ultimately I believe the landlord's responsible.
I think it went through the sewer too, apparently, yeah.
Yeah,
It had to go somewhere.
yeah. So unique situation. Not sure if that one's ever come up before, but
It's unique.
I don't
that's.
think it's our problem. I don't think it's anything.
I think, I believe, I kind of talked to Chief Tellner a little bit, like the landlord would have to, if there's any estate to be had, the landlord would have to
Take it up with
pursue that.
Is this consistent with what we did with, what's his face?
Ron Andes?
I left his water on.
I don't know if this
It's-
will have any bearing on it, but a friend of mine owns a rental property up in Neenah. And he had a tenant that changed the locks on the doors, turned the water on.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that happens.
yeah.
And he had a $600 water bill and it was his.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went through the meter. The PSC says we have to charge for it, so.
He could maybe apply to his insurance company. See if he could-
Yeah, probably not.
This
They
is
should act like that.
a similar but different thing that got brought up on my favorite place, and that was the nosy neighbors here, where someone claimed that they were in a place for 7 days and got the water bill. They weren't even moved in.
Yeah.
$7,000 water bill.
Yeah.
Is that, really, did that happen?
No, I think we talked to them. I think that was like a meter rollover or something, like when the meter rolled over and
Yeah,
it was fixed, but
That's what I thought this meter thing was for.
we would like the
That
phone call first before it
it
goes
goes
to
on.
Yeah.
public, but whatever.
I can't imagine in 7 days running $7,000 worth of water.
I don't think
through a
it's
residential.
possible. Yeah, it's a meter rollover.
I think the one where we did a meter change, and if you don't run water through it, the meter reads 99999.
Oh, yeah. So it doesn't,
We changed the meters that day or the day before, we read meters, and they didn't run any water through it to roll it past zero.
Okay.
And it showed up on her thing, and when she prints out bills, that's what printed out that they used 1 million gallons of water.
So
And it
it's,
really didn't, because we didn't get past that.
it's always
It starts
fascinating.
before zero when you get in the meter.
It's fascinating on that forum where you have people that say, well, those bastards, they're trying to do it to us again. And another one saying, well, you really ought to call them and see what's going on. And so
So it's all
hope,
but take care of.
Sounds like, yep,
Yeah,
they were
it
very
just-
nice.
So is the landlord gonna come and ask us for,
I don't know.
Is there anything we can do for him?
I think short of asking, I can ask the PSC what we can do, but I mean, they're pretty much the ones that tell us water ran through that meter. You account for it.
Forgive sewer charges, correct? Because that's not covered.
But technically we treated it though.
yeah, and it needed to be treated if
As far
it
as
was
we
washing
know, it
over
went
a
through
dead
that
guy
meter.
all of that time, frankly. You can't just say it was clear water
Yeah.
going to the ground.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, it's consistent. It's like, I think we did the math on the units. It was like 198,000 gallons, which we, dividing, it's consistent with a stuck toilet. It's consistent with, anything like that running.
Due diligence, I would make sure there was no pet pack open in the basement where it ran through into a floor drain.
I don't think they have a basement.
It's an apartment complex on Dayton Street.
I don't think they have
It says
a,
where they all got individual meters for apartments.
yeah, stuck in the closets of the bathroom there.
Can we give him a reduced rate or anything like that, that it still covers our costs, going above and beyond?
I don't know. I think a PSC question, but I don't know if you guys ever had any issue like that before. It's a fresh one for me. No, okay.
It's not like we're making just gobs of money on this, so.
Yeah, right. It's,
I understand that.
and I get it on the landlord's perspective to get stuck with the bill, but that might be his action to take. So,
When I was a landlord, and the guy didn't pay the water bill for 6 months. and
it goes to you.
Leaving with several months' rent in arrears, guess who wound up taking
That's
care
the
of it?
risk you take.
That's
It's,
part of
yeah.
the business.
Okay, well, I'll look into it with the PSC stuff and see what we can do, but meters tested out and accurate, so that's as far as we could go, so. Yeah, ouch is right. Contract per our last meeting with Napoli something for PFAS retainer is submitted in the event we need it. We submit further testing from here on out, which is coming up just to keep on record. Approvals for our wellhead protection ordinance have also been sent to the DNR for review. So that's the last step is I think we approve the ordinance, Common Council approve the ordinance. Just the DNR approves it, and that's one more thing off our list of DNR recommendations that's done. Tomorrow, I meet with PSC attorneys as well when we were discussing the Forever Fund. They have one statute that they have a hang up on. We went from 12 additional questions to one. So with our lawyer and PSC's lawyers tomorrow, we're trying to get past that last hurdle. Their thing is they want anything that they do is fair and equitable to everyone as a community. And a couple years ago when they put in that you could use ratepayer funds if you applied to pay for lead service replacements up to 50%. I was only for lead. Well, we created a rate structure that the whole community pays for it. So we feel that this program maybe that the PSC has isn't fair and equitable if you're covering all services. So who pays if you have potential, a new house on Carolyn shouldn't pay if it's before a certain age. So the fair thing to do is to cover essentially any service type if it's all ratepayers are contributing, I guess. That's the way we're looking at it, but we'll see what we can work out. So they're all on board.
I'm sorry, I'm not quite following.
So we
You talking about adding PFAS to this?
No, this is we created, I think we started this in July. So there was a fund. So I think it's a very minimal fee, like 40 cents a month on people's water bill. When this grant is done in March, it is done. There's no more money for lead coming for us probably ever. So in the incidents, we can't see underground. We don't have x-ray eyes. If something comes up for lead, we thought of setting aside a fund that's, a community pot to pay for these incidental charges. We know we're going to find something in the future. We know we didn't catch every single one of them, but going from 250 people got them for free. And then I find one on April 1st and they have to pay for their we tried to help people and support people in doing this that maybe didn't get as much because we know they're going to be found at some point. But we thought that including all service types, helping the community out up to 50%. If anybody in the city has a rupture, we can have a community pot where we can help them out, I guess, with that repair.
Rupture, any kind of rupture at all?
Well, on that from the curb stop to the meter. So on the private side, because otherwise it's ours, but on that private side water line. So we're
Specific to lead?
well, it kind of started specific to lead, and then we wanted it to be more inclusive. If everyone's going to contribute to it, everybody should be able to benefit from it, right? I guess that's the way we looked at it. But
So why do you want to cut it off at a date the house was built? Because you don't want to cover.
well, I don't want to cut it off at a date. That's a lot of work and but how are you if your house is brand new and the one in the center of the town isn't, why would you pay for it?
Propylene could fail too.
Sure. So if we can cover any expense, I guess that
Cover
comes up from it.
everything.
Yeah.
Have everybody pay.
Yeah.
a little
Yep.
bit.
That's easy. Everybody in, everybody benefits from it.
Proper service.
They break too.
Curb stop pulls off on your side.
So I'm a little confused because I thought we stated earlier that the homeowner owns repair all the way out to the center of the street.
That was sewer water.
Mhm.
This is water letter.
And
PSC,
that's not the same thing?
No.
So if my water lateral breaks between the curb stop and the middle of the street, that's on the city?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And that's something the PSC tells us that they tell us all the rules for water. So they mandate that that's our section, that curb stop to your house is yours. The grant was kind of an oddball because it's not generally covered for private water services.
Right. So what we're saying is now we've got a fund to help homeowners if something happens.
Going forward, we're trying to create this fund to help them out.
primarily it was done for that service that pops up.
Right,
between
right.
now and the end of time.
But if we could be all inclusive, it's everybody contributes, everybody benefits from it for
That's
very
like 40
minimal.
cents a month or something like that.
It's like, yeah, it's like 40 cents a month is our rate structure.
Oh, it's a lot of money.
Right.
I don't know if I can afford that.
We'll see what happens. Well, the PSC was on board. They thought it was a great thing to try to push through. Our lawyer thought it was a great thing we're trying to push through. We just have one little statute we're hung up on to try to get through.
How
So
much money do we have in the fund now?
once they approve it, we start it. Yeah,
Oh, we haven't started?
We don't have.
No.
it.
we don't have approvals to start.
And it only covers 50%.
Uh-huh.
But that's better
The
than
homeowner
nothing.
still has to pay that.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, and that's a PSC rule too.
Oh,
That 50% is a yep. That
What did you get?
you're only allowed.
I
This is
spent-
residential.
You had a letter
I spent
placement?
$1,900 of my own money to replace my water service. At the same time, I was spending $4,500 to replace my sewer line. But there's a better community as a result of it.
You bet. But you took the 950 if they gave it to you, right?
Absolutely.
There you go. All right.
As a matter of fact, can I put in for that?
There might be a statute of limitations on that one, and that we'd have to. We'll see what happens.
This covers residential and any customer?
Yeah, in commercial and industrial.
Okay.
Yep, and there's a tiered rate structure by meter size, kind of the same way that they gave us
Geez, the-
meters.
An industrial one could wipe the whole fund out.
Right, and that's why their charge is a little more on the monthly, because we kind of based it on, a 2-inch repair is going to cost a lot more than, a 5/8 or some, whatever we come up with. So, mhm. Yep. So it's structured to reflect that, I
All
guess.
right, thank you for that.
Yep.
I'm all up to speed now.
So that's our goal. That's what we're trying to do. We're the first people to try to do it, so we get the fun hurdles in this. But it's okay. The fun part, main breaks, 1219 Marguerite and Easy Street, 1221 Green Bay and Forest Drive, and I wrote 1230 Wisconsin and Center Street. So total 3, we lost a little over 2 million gallons in those. Nothing really stand out as cause or any of that. It froze really hard. It thawed. Well, probably from the surge. So it was already on a weak
So
line.
have we ever done any kind of training with the fire department to show them?
Yes.
turn it off? Yeah.
We did.
So they know how to.
Yep.
turn it off.
Yep, we had a fire hydrant. We call him Hydrant Joe. We had Hydrant Joe come out and do a training. And I mean, there's a large surge of water when the fire happens. I don't know that anybody opened fast or opened slow. I don't believe so, but it was within 6 feet of a previous break. So I feel the line's weak. Yeah. It broke at Forest in Green Bay. But with overnight somewhere 2 a.m. or so. Yeah. So repaired and was done the next day.
One on Wisconsin, is it Wisconsin Street, one of the streets we have on our hot list.
Yep.
Instead of front of my list,
In front of.
Bridge Street,
Oh, it's on my list. Yeah.
yeah, for getting done.
Yep.
right? So we think.
Yep.
This would have been avoided had we, as soon as we finish the infrastructure there, we probably won't have a lot of maintenance.
So we'll have it somewhere else.
But, Wisconsin.
In the next week spot. Yeah, it's Wisconsin's probably at 3 or 4 on my list of repairs. South.
Same hole we had one in 2016.
Yeah. Yep. And we lost our snow cover blanket or insulation, and then the first one, it was a really hard freeze, and conditions were right for breaking things, but it's all right. Metalcraft Loop project or phase 1 at least, is set to go to bid early February. Well, number 4 is set to go to bid in January, and Alley Street early February as well. We're in Final stages of well number 4 approvals. DNR and PSC approved plans for well number 4. We had a conversation with Veolia today regarding those well contracts from the utility service company and how they fit into this planning, and it doesn't seem like they do at all.
That Veolia.
Yeah, it was it's Veolia now, and it was Suez, and it was utility service company. So I don't think they need to do much of anything in this, but we did talk to them, and we want them to do the work that they were going to do in year 10 would benefit us in year 9 when that well goes online in that contract. So they're willing to, kind of swap a little and make sure everything's fresh and new and there's no hiccups with the system being online. Yeah.
Who's the engineer for the metal cap?
Congo.
When are we gonna start putting the well 4 out for bids?
Well 4 goes out in January. So by the end of this month, it goes out for bids. I think that was the last thing he was waiting on to see how that utility service contract played into this and if they were, had requirements for doing that work.
Yeah, when are we likely to see construction start?
Construction is set for this summer, and they anticipate it being 12 to 18 months. So, yeah. So, so between summer and fall of 24 would be the system online entirely. Fingers crossed.
The Metalcraft loop or whatever, is that gonna take care of that problem at the railroad crossing there?
So yeah, the loop, we have to put the loop in first to keep them in constant flow. And then if something would happen where the water line runs under the railroad crossing, then they're safe. We can keep them in service, but that loop needs to go in first. Yeah, phase 2 would be replacing. Yeah. So we were out looking for it today. We brought in Ferguson and demoed some of their equipment to find our water line. We're having a difficult time locating exactly where that line runs all the way to 28 and from Metalcraft to 28 through the woods under the railroad tracks and under a marsh.
Pretty close to the back of that building for, what's the auto body?
Precision.
We came up with that, and I think that's where they charge.
Because, I was looking at the map on that.
We're not quite sure where it comes out.
Well, we have it's such a long distance and the whole area is full of the old slag. I tried to metal detect a service in one of those sheds once. It was a nightmare to find. You can't find it with metal detector. So we're trying to find and locate exactly where that line is, and it's not going great. But we have a demo Metro Tech that we learned how to use properly today to try to find some of these mysteries. Yeah.
Oh, it's
That water on that, I call it the sugar leaf.
Yep.
That makes close to there.
Yeah, we don't know where it ties in.
We're not sure.
Should be able to tie in the sugar leaf in there.
Open the cover, get it on the gravel road.
Well, we can test out that they gave us the Metro to demo for a while, so we can try to locate these. And our mapping system, we do have, once we do find it, we have the ability to pretty much walk the line of that Metro Tech and map it as we go, so we can't lose it in the future, I guess. About it. Try. I think that's all I have for water. If that wasn't enough.
Any questions? Now we'll move on to wastewater report, sewer system report and discussion.
Let's see here. We're working on 2023 televising lists. We should have a full view of the system since we've been working on it for about 3 years. I think we almost have the whole city televised. And then we can kind of do a normal rotation if we're in quadrants, but we'll know what everything looks like in the city for sewer within the next year to year and a half, depending on the cost. We have to break it down to 2 years, but quotes should be coming soon for that. Toxicity testing, that every monthly testing we did in 2022 is complete. We're waiting word from the DNR to clear our name on that one. But as of now, we're back to regular, our twice a year testing, and we'll only have to do first and third quarter. So hopefully those all go well too. But, yeah, the fish didn't gain enough weight in the tank or something. I don't know. Yeah, I should have fed them better, I guess.
In the river water.
Got them the wrong flakes. Let's see. We are working with MSA. MSA is kind of hanging out on the facilities planning too. You should be hearing from them for an update here shortly. But they're working on design for facilities and working through revisions with us on that, and then figuring out how to tie in the SCADA system for both utilities as well. Doing well project and wastewater project, it's probably not going to be too feasible to tie it all together at once when the project timing is different. So there might be essentially two systems that would need to call into one dialer, which nobody thinks is the worst idea anyway. So it'll be, I think that's the only way we can do it. And we're trying to tie in towers and everything else at the same time.
I have a question. The money we got from the village of Decaski, town of Williamstown, for connection fees to pay for cammering, have we exhausted that? Is there a lot left? What are we gonna do for the digital?
That's a good question. That's something I would have to look more into. I mean, we put it into the account.
Off the top of my head, it was over 100,000 somewhere in there when I, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's right here.
Isn't that what we're checking on the paper?
Yeah.
Right, but we're almost done.
Yeah,
Well, with the cammering, we're almost done.
Well, we almost have a full view of the city, but the DNR wants you to have, they want you to have a schedule. If we can break it up into, I've done a 3-part system before. If I can break it up into like a 6-year plan, you have sections 1 through 6, and you know exactly what you're doing every year to retelevise. Yeah. But it'll be, once we're almost caught up, we almost have a full view, so then those amounts are going to be less and the job's a little more simplified. Yeah. I think general recommendation is every like 6 to 10 years you should kind of look and revise what those sewers look like and then repair them. Green Bay Drive is all set up. You might have got a letter. Right now, I think they're starting to contact people and start scheduling for repairs. Everybody got a letter to give us a call. They just said sometime after January 1st. So January, February, he thinks it's about 2 to 3 weeks out. Once they have a list, they know what houses they need to go to and who they need to contact. So
Any feedback from anybody up there?
not really. I asked on the,
I thought so too, because people that already paid for it, I thought.
I mean, I guess that's a case by case basis is all we can only do now and going forward. But
That house that burned up there, that's on the other side of the condominiums, that's not part of this.
Mm-mm. No, it's probably just before, honestly, just before the sewer gets deep there. But yeah, not much for sewer, but
That's it?
yeah.
Next. College water quality technician student internship. That
I
was supposed to be under this, wasn't
closed or
it? No, you don't have a separate one. Well,
limited term internship of Marine Park Technical College water student. I think we just talked. You guys wanted me to bring it back. It's not in closed session, so I can't give you details. I don't know if that's what you wanted, but just a discussion about having an intern.
What did we want to brought back for?
thought we gave you the blessing.
No, I said put it on the next agenda.
So you've got the
Somebody
person
did.
hired?
No, I have an application.
Oh.
I was just kind of waiting for an A-OK. It's a 230-hour internship that Marine Park requires as part of your schooling to graduate, essentially. I don't know. I've done it. I've been there. It's a pain in the butt. It's kind of a nice way if in the future you're looking for a wastewater operator, you already tested one out for a couple bucks an hour too. So
Do you need something from us to be able to put
I-
a package together and hire them?
I guess it just, if that's okay, I didn't really know why I brought it back, but, or why we wanted to bring it
And
back
you're
for
gonna pay 'em what,
discussion.
pay, summer help?
Yeah, like part-time wage, it was 12 bucks an hour. And we have limited, Debbie that was cleaning a lot more, but her situation changed, so we have the funding to do it. Her hours went to, she can help as needed rather than 6 hours a week, so.
I say if everyone's in agreement, go for it.
Sure.
But you don't want this intern doing cleaning down there.
No,
Learn
nope.
something.
Well, and I've been there and I know the experience. So part of it is you're standing there with a fire hose blasting clarifiers, and the other part you're actually, you're kind of they need help, so it's to your benefit. What I'd like him to do a lot of that would teach him a lot too is I want to go 90 miles an hour on that. We need to do a lead and copper inventory. We have to recognize every single service, public and private, in the city by October 2024 and submit that to the DNR. It's a huge project. They just started it and gave everybody a year and a half to do it. So
Sounds like a great intern project.
it's a really good intern project, and he knows he would know then what these components are. You get a visual, you see what you're working with and what you're learning and how it applies.
Did it take a physical look out at each of the surfaces, or?
Well, what we had to do, since we can't see them, I mean, we have some records, but we have to dig through records. We have to physically put them on the map and that it creates kind of a spreadsheet for us that we can submit. We found an easy-ish way to do it within our mapping system for something we can submit, but it takes a lot of digging. Yeah.
Easy-ish, is that a technical term?
Easy-ish, yeah. It's right in the dictionary.
So we're all good on that internship?
He's-
Next is discussion and possible action regarding sale of surplus utility property.
So
What surplus property?
all the pictures are in there. So Bob, I think
Oh, I
this
know.
is the one you said that
Yeah,
you're, what is it, planning? Or what commission did you have that,
we have ordinance that covers it.
there's an ordinance that says
It must be offered to.
other departments.
Anything else?
Well, there's some of this stuff.
And scaffolding, really good scaffolding, it's all aluminum there. You have no need for that down there?
We haven't used it to date. What did you use it? Yeah.
I've never, since I've been there.
Getting up to them high windows, getting up to them high windows down there, and we used to clean pipes down there in the garage and all that with that. And
Team
caging,
using one.
You got bigger fish than clean pipes.
you know, and they had it done too.
Or the like limestone or.
They paid a lot of money for that.
Yeah, it looked like good quality stuff. Well, these are just items we found that nobody's touched in years, and we thought that going to auction and recouping some of the things like putting a culvert in Wool Road, I guess, was more important to us being.
Hydrant obsolete, I remember. They probably inventory at one time.
It's a Eddie hydrant. We have zero luck with them whatsoever, and they break a lot.
I got one in my yard already. Otherwise,
Sounds like we're about to have an auction right here.
I'm sure
No.
Jack and the guys in the garage see the road there.
They probably would use that sandblasting.
I did show one of the DPW guys some of this, and he didn't recognize it. He just kind of, but
So we're
I
looking
can.
for a motion for her to,
That thing was like 60 years old.
Probably not. That's why we don't want it.
Sorry, you see a lot of them. Yeah, have it clean, stuff's all over.
We wanted to bring it to auction.
yeah, but you want to contact Jack or any of the
Yeah.
departments first.
Yeah.
Anybody else in the city.
I would think that scaffolding, somebody in the city would have to do that. You'd pay a lot for something. How can it go back?
Yeah, I don't know. We were just looking to, I don't know, I guess kind of simplify and
Don't we use that?
nope, I asked DPW about that one. They have their own version. I don't know what we would have used that for except the parking lot, maybe. Well, it still has a VHS tape to run it, so
So this is not modern equipment here. This is
no, it's probably useful to small outfits if we do sell it at auction, smaller companies, things like that. And that's kind of what we were looking to do is just recoup for the projects that we feel were kind of important, like putting that culvert in it will like those little things, putting steps at the tower because it's a really big leap and there are no steps there, those kind of.
Is that an egg incubator? You could sell that.
I thought you had to deal with kind of things, you would take them for parts.
The guy that rebuilt them, he don't want them.
He doesn't want Eddie's.
Nobody puts them in.
No.
See,
there's
I even asked Ferguson.
online.
Yep. That Wisconsin surplus is what
They got some pretty cool things on there.
whole playgrounds and whatever you need. Yeah, that's kind of what we were looking to do with that.
Deep trucks.
The one thing that I did is slam shut like the water, so the cooler causes water.
So we're looking for a motion for her to dispose of this.
You sure we aren't gonna use the track pump?
There's 3 other ones there, and this one is severely undersized compared to the rest of them, and possibly from it's old.
I think it makes sense to walk to get first. We got contact.
Well, and that's what I was a little unclear. That's why the mayor said to go to Bob too, because the policy is to offer to other departments, but not necessarily for nothing.
Well, they, you exchange it, right, or its value, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
pay the value, you just don't need it. I can't imagine. Well, this compressor, how bad is that?
I don't know which one.
It's not a big dollar item anyway.
No, none of them are really huge dollar items, but it's the offer to other. Yeah.
I mean, otherwise we're not gonna be consistent.
Yeah. Well, and that's
That's why we put that ordinance in.
You never know, the parts, they're kind of independent of everything, they might need something like the compressor or the scraper or something, you might just add it on what else. Just make sure everybody passes on it, and then we just have it go auction.
We do get something in return for them, correct?
Right.
We don't want to pass it along and then,
They would have
things
to,
don't go to the right channel.
we transfer the value from one to the other.
Read the ordinance.
yeah. Well, it's yeah. I did.
I don't think there's that it's, you have to get something in return. The intent was is that why duplication?
Yeah.
And why buy something if you got something?
Well, and utilities is a little different though, funding wise too, because we were trying to fund other projects, but we're not funded by taxpayer money or like any of the other it's we're ratepayers, they're all taxpayers, so we're a little.
Covered by the ordinance because it's a city property.
But it does make sense if another part of the city can use any of this stuff.
If we can strike a deal on it, if
Make
some.
them a good deal.
First, we have to declare this, cover yourself for excess.
Okay.
That
There you go.
That the commission has to declare that equipment excess, and then takes the next.
And we did go through all this we fed Clint lunch so he would tell us the history on some of this stuff too, and what it was used for and when and
Make
whatever
sure you
else.
run this by the tree man too, he seems to be excited
People
about it.
here that's gonna be 50 years old, use that on acreage, runs on kerosene.
So yeah, this was all, and we're just trying to clean a house for upcoming, projects and whatever else. There's just so much stuff there. But
You can buy better equipment, cheaper, newer, bigger, faster. Like I said, a torpedo heater, gotta get kerosene, now you go to purchase, you get a tank, you got a torpedo heater, you fire it up in 2 minutes.
No smell.
Yeah, don't smell, you use a LP tank, go off the
So,
battery, you throw
the
it
question
in.
Do we
is, what
have
do you
to
need
make
from
a
us?
motion?
We're looking for a motion to
Make this,
declare this.
declare excess. Okay.
We have a motion and a second to declare this equipment excess.
Okay.
Um,
Keith,
Keith and then Dave.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
Bob, do we have to take this anywhere else? Or is
Well,
it?
then you might work through it with, the guy who handles it most often is the police chief, he sends it off to the Wisconsin auction thing, but. you can
Okay.
ask him to- But you don't have to, once we declare it excess, then you ask the other departments, anybody interested in it? Just-
And then
all
we
you gotta do is say no.
do away
If they
with,
say yes, then we work that out, and then once they say no, then it goes either to the scrap pile or the.
Okay. yeah, I think the ordinance read that it went to like DPW or parks to go to auction, and neither of them, I had asked them, and neither of them have ever sent anything to auction, so they didn't know.
I know the, police department has.
Vehicles and stuff.
EMTs have.
Yeah.
So, we'll take roll call.
All right. Let me get my, where the heck did I-
Anybody can look up the ordinance, it's called excess.
Commissioner,
Yeah.
oh,
Simple.
Okay.
all right, Alderpersons Bob Smith,
All right.
Alderpersons Robert Smith, or Roger Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Engel, don't do that to me, Commissioner Frings,
Aye.
Commissioner Lodahl,
I,
Commissioner Bushki.
me too.
Oh, and Commissioner Payne. I'm sorry, I don't have my, I was putting my notes in.
Okay.
Ah, Attorney Rex.
Motion to adjourn.
Made it a short one.
Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second,
Second.
Prosper, Lodahl. All in
Thank
favor.
We did all.
Next meeting is February 7th, 4 PM. City Hall.
Chainsaw.
It's a food lot.